Hiya Toon Fanatics, and welcome to Toon Corner. And today we'll be talking about some Toontastic facts about the Looney Tunes. For this list, we'll be talking about different Looney Tunes stuff like its Toon stars, voice actors, animators, and everything else in between. Let's get started. Bosco the Talking Kid was the very first Looney Tunes star. He actually began the Looney Tunes legacy back in 1930 with a cartoon called Sinking in the Bathtub. Joe Daughtry was the original voice of Porky Pig. Just like Porky, he actually has trouble with stuttering, and unfortunately because of that, he actually got fired because he can't control his stuttering during the recording sessions. Bugs Bunny was first seen as a zany white rabbit during the mid-30s, and he went under names like Happy Rabbit or Proto Bugs, for example, and eventually he wasn't called Bugs Bunny until 1940 when he appeared in A Wild Hare. Bugs actually went through quite an evolution from the mid-30s all the way till 1940. Basically, he had to change his fur color and eventually had different voices as well. Bugs Bunny was named after an animator named Ben Bugs Hardaway, who was working at Warner Brothers as an animator during the 30s, and later on would actually work at Walter Lance's studios in the 40s. When Mel Blanc was trying to figure out what Bugs Bunny should sound like, he knew he has to do a New York accent, but he can't decide which is tougher, the Brooklyn or the Bronx. So he combines the two together. Sometime during the 40s, Mel approached the studio so he can actually get a raise and asked them if he could get a raise. They said no, and he was like, fine, at least put my name in the credits. So throughout the majority of the 40s, and then the 50s and 60s, whenever you see Looney Tunes cartoons during those times, in the credits, you would actually see voice characterization Mel Blanc. Tweety was first seen as a pink canary in a couple of cartoons. Eventually, Tweety actually got yellow feathers because the censors thought he was naked. You may have noticed some of the cartoons in the 40s that stars Elmer Fudd. It looked like that Elmer has gained a little bit of weight. The idea behind Elmer's chubbier design is that he was supposed to resemble his voice actor, Arthur Q. Bryan. Arthur Q. Bryan voiced Elmer all the way up until his death in the late 50s, and after that, Mel Blanc took over. Who Framed Roger Rabbit was one of the last few films that Mel actually had worked on before his death. He actually gave voices to characters in the movies like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Tweety, for example. During the production of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Mel can't perform Yosemite Sam's voice like he used to. So in the movie, Yosemite Sam was actually voiced by Joe Olasky. And later on, after Mel Blanc died in 1989, Yosemite Sam went through some voice actors here and there. Voice actors like Bill Farmer and Maurice LaMarche, for example. Space Jam was pretty much the most popular sports film in the 90s. It also received a lot of money as well. Finding an actor to play Stan the publicist for Michael Jordan wasn't an easy task. Basically, the studio went through a list of actors like Michael J. Fox and Chevy Chase before settling on Wayne Knight for the role. When Joe Dante was directing Looney Tunes Back in Action, he nicknamed the film The Anti-Space Jam because he was not a fan of Space Jam at all. And the question of the day is, what Toontastic fact about the Looney Tunes were you surprised about? Just let me know in the comment section down below. Feel free to leave a request. And I'll see you next time in Toon Corner.